before we get into that, I wanted to talk to Lush about two things coming up. We got two very big battles announced for URL. One of the biggest battles ever announced coming up soon. Loaded Lux versus VERB. Huge grudge match. We've been waiting for this for like 10 years.
Way before vegan VERB.
Yeah.
Way before the manifestation of vegan VERB, which is to me like a supercharged version of my favorite VERB. The, large clips, enterprise, cars flip, injure guys, beam his whole team up, Starship Enterprise. Like that like original Showtime VERB. I think that's, you know what I mean? Like,
Jesus Christ.
That's what I hope we see. I hope that there's like not too much, like this is a battle where two motherfuckers rap so good, there's no context necessary. This could be just a obviously, like, the history is exciting. Yes, it's a grudge match. Yes, this is a shot that I'm really happy to see VERB and someone from the Midwest in general. I mean, Calico. There's been other Midwest rappers that have battled Lux, but it's rare to see people outside of the Eastern region battle someone of that one of the big three, you know what I'm saying? When you start getting to the...
I mean, and also VERB coming off of a battle with Mook, and to go to VERB, and then
he's already been inserted into the conversation. This pretty much like is the God on his exclamation mark. Like, of he could, and honestly, the way it's looking right now, as calculated as Lux is, I really don't see him beating VERB right now.
You think VERB's gonna win?
I don't see. Beloved.
Yeah.
Beloved.
Yeah.
Lux is incredible. Probably the best pen of all time, if you pound for pound break it down. Most exciting, engaging lyrics. But I just don't see him outperforming VERB in this current form.
That's fair. I mean, I think VERB has a lot of momentum going into this battle, and he's wanted this battle forever. Although sometimes that works against you. We watched, I'm not even going to say that because comparing those two battle rappers, people get mad at me. But anyways, like a lot of times when people have a lot of momentum going into a battle, it works to their benefit.
Were you going to bring up X Factor or what?
No. But yeah, and VERB's pen is really, really incredible. And I think he'll definitely exercise the characteristic traits of him as a battle rapper that we all love. Not like he did with Mook. I feel like with Mook, he was trying to make all these points about, like, you're not one of us, you're not a battle rapper, you're just this fucking, like, opportunist.
Right.
Which he did really well. He did incredibly well. But I think with Lux, we know what we're getting into right now.
Well, I think it's way more of, like, a lyrical spar than it is. Like, him versus Mook is going to be, like, angle-based, which requires lyricism, but it's, like, a lot of... Mook's a showman, and obviously Lux is, too, but, like Mook's way more just... bombastic. Like he'd easily like command huge crowds of people, you know what I mean? Like just has like a large presence, and I think VERB was like competing with him like the same way he was the way he used the like ingenious angles. That's his way of diffusing performers like that, because he did the same thing against Hitman, you know what I mean? Like when you're battling someone that and I know that's his little homie, so there's other dynamics that work there, but still Hitman's a fucking showman at the end of the day, and that's what his greatest strength is. And in order to diffuse that, he had to get really angular, because if he just went straight like at him lyrically and just it became a lot of beaming of teams and things of that nature, probably wouldn't have gone over as well.
That's
like
true.
He needed those angles.
That's a really good point. What about another battle announced for URL? CASSIDY versus GOODZ. So
awesome.
You obviously have history booking CASSIDY.
Yeah.
I had Diz on the show, so we talked about that. So with that knowledge,
pretty sure he pissed. I don't know what he said, and I haven't seen it. I'm sure he pissed a lot of people.
With that knowledge of working with Cass, how do you think this battle's gonna go? CASSIDY versus GOODZ.
I mean, I think this is way more what CASSIDY wanted, and I think one of the reasons to begin with why CASSIDY, and I'm not trying to like talk down on him, but it wasn't the easiest experience. Everybody knows a lot of that wasn't his fault in retrospect, and it's just because it's way outside of, and he's a versatile MC. Cass is capable of battling any type of rapper, and when he was battling fools on the radio in Philly back in the day, it was defending his title. I think it was every week or whatever it was.
Yeah, when he battled 5,001 times, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like he battled like a wide gamut, and I know personally, I've heard stories of a lot of different types of rappers, and he freestyles for hours on end and all that shit. So, but he wasn't psyched about battle, and it's not because Diz is, like, obviously we know how I feel about Diz. I can't say too many great things about him, or else people are gonna fucking say that I'm biased, etc. But it's obvious that Diz is fucking amazing, and a huge opportunity in battling him makes an event larger than life in and of itself, and he's able to sell a fight with anybody and make it exciting just because of his involvement. But this is what Cassidy wanted, somebody at the time conceded was the name being thrown around the most. But like now, like I think GOODZ makes a lot of fucking sense.
It does. Yeah, how do you think it's gonna go?
Shit, dude. I feel like if GOODZ does himself like he always has, I feel like he might be the first person to like have more confidence and charisma and just be smoother than Cass. You know what I mean? Like,
I think he's gonna fucking body Cass.
He's gonna fuck Cass.
I think if it comes down to them just battling, like if no crazy shit happens, which I think crazy shit's gonna happen. I think it's not gonna go normal. I think there's gonna be some high key fuckery involved.
Yeah.
But if it just comes down to them battling, I do not see how Cassidy can beat fucking GOODZ on a URL big stage.
Yeah, no,
not very many
the
people
big
can.
The big stage,
Yeah.
big stage. I mean, but is it gonna be like? What's the environment gonna be like? Is it gonna be like
big?
That's not looking
exactly.
That's not looking good for Cass off top, and like I think that, like you said, some fuckery will probably ensue, and we wind up being a more favorable environment. But I feel like, I mean, both of them. I feel like this battle would be way doper if it wasn't in that setting, but that's just from a fan's perspective.
A small room.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would prefer to see this in a small room coming from both of them and like who they are. But obviously, you know what I mean? Like that's just from a fan perspective.
Yeah, I feel you.
And if I was in their position, if I was in, the organizers of URL's position, I would for sure, there's no way you wouldn't want to make it a huge fucking event. And like that's this is, getting Cassidy involved in a battle is every promoter's, that's a bucket list goal for pretty much anybody. And shouts to URL for even making this fucking happen. And I know that if it wasn't for a mutual respect that URL and Cass have for one another, the battle wouldn't happen. Here's something that pisses me off, and that's people that underrate Cassidy and think that he's not fucking that dope.
Let's go,
you know what
Lush.
I'm saying?
Let's go.
And say that his performance versus Diz was underwhelming and all this shit. It's like, what are you looking for in a battle? Like, what do you think is tight? You know what I mean? Like, because to me, what I was raised on was that hard Philly DVD shit, and then that's exactly what he brought at an elite level of the game. Flawless performance, you know what I mean? Like, obviously on the stage, it didn't work out. Now, if this environment's a lot of it's going to come down to how controlled are they going to able to make it, and what advancements have we seen in technology since 2014, and having people like you involved on the producerial end is going to make a huge fucking difference.
Yeah, but there's so little you can control with what I think Cass is going to be involved with. I don't know. I'm just like very nervous about it, but I think my prediction.
Having that concern right there speaks volumes in and of itself, because when I was, producing this event, I was working with a technical producer who was basically someone just hired by the Film On Network, who had zero knowledge of battle rap, had to be spoon-fed firsthand what it was, and 8 Mile was the only cultural frame of reference which he vaguely was aware of. He wasn't even really, he was like, oh yeah, I think I heard of that movie 8 Mile. Like, it was like that.
Oh my
God.
I mean, battle rap is a hard thing to produce, man. They're not easy shows to run.
Just like me having to explain that, like the severity of what,
who you're dealing with,
create the context of what Cassidy is, let alone fucking sell it to these people to make them want to produce the event to begin with.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just the fact that it's URL producing the event, the fact that you're behind the technical aspect of it, that in and of itself makes it in much better hands, and that means like overall definitely gonna be a much more viewable product. Just I hope Cass realizes what he's getting himself into, and I hope people realize what they are getting by watching Cass.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: I saw his little freestyle he posted on Twitter, and I hope he was fucking around with that, because if that's the type of shit, he's like, you don't even have a car, you just have fast shoes. Like,
I mean, I can see Cassidy saying, you know, like I can see that's. It's just little it's you know, I mean, fucking. It reminds me of Mook with his, you know, hypocritical, like a dying hippopotamus.
yeah, but that was at a Joe
like,
Budden concert. You know, that wasn't at a URL main stage battle where URL fans are they're.
I think that's a pretty similar demographic.
No.
Very similar demographic.
Hell no, that fucking Total Slaughter shit, dude. That was horrible.
Well, I mean, yeah,
they were there to see Joe Budden. You know,
it's equivalent to when Drake's name's attached or any super. You know what I mean? And obviously, no, Joe Budden and Drake are not comparable level of stars, but when Slaughterhouse gonna be there, then it brings some kooks out the woodwork.
Yeah, well, I just know that the URL audience is very, very smart, and they're there to see good rapping and good lyrics, good pens, and if Cassidy comes like the stuff that he posted on his Twitter against GOODZ, I feel like GOODZ is just gonna outshine him on every level, you know?
No, he is, and I think one thing that's actually like, as a side note, a really good, like, as outspoken as I've been about the whole, I know, like titles and divisions in hip hop, and like one of the cool things that's happened as a result of this whole like mumble rap debate is we've seen like all the people that are into lyricism and into like just the more creative side of rapping are gonna be are all drawn to battle rap, and things like this, like GOODZ versus Cassidy, becomes a topical moment in hip hop culture, and it becomes something way bigger than just a regular rap battle that our small community.
Yeah, it's a huge look for sure.
Be it ever growing as it is, still a small community when you really look at battle rap. You know, like this is this is us showing our ass for the outside world pause. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I think it's a good matchup. I think Cassidy versus GOODZ is stylistically really good.
Yeah, it's like it's just like Conceited versus Cass.
Yeah, that would have been great too,
like,
for
you know
sure.
what I mean? And I feel like that you would have probably got a more lyrical Cassidy if he was battling Conceited.
A puncher,
you know, someone like a
that's
Con,
true.
someone that's just going to be back to back stacking punches.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to see the most swagged out Cassidy of all time.
Yeah, it's going to be Aura versus Aura.
Yeah,
sure.
like I can't imagine what Wachi's going to be wearing for this battle. Like, Jack boys, be ready. Like, beef up to your security this time.
Let's go.